And again, you can't try and persuade his or her decision making and stuff like that. So, and again, that all comes with time and learning, and I feel I just started scratching the surface in 4 years. So.
This episode of Bring Back the Porch brought to you by Bernie Leahy, River Street Realty. Let's get you home. There's an election underway. You've probably heard about it in Medicine Hat or Cypress County, but the town of Redcliff is also having an election for its town council, and incumbent Matthew St. Pierre joins us to talk about what's happening in Redcliff. Welcome, Matthew.
Oh, thanks for having me.
You are the only one so far, and because of the time that we're recording this, you're going to be the only one who's been afforded the opportunity to talk to us about what's happening in Redcliff. So I'm hoping in the next 20 minutes or so we can kind of look at what is happening in the little community just to the northwest of Medicine Hat. I did, as I mentioned to you when you came in, I looked up the questionnaire from 4 years ago when you were first seeking election as a councillor. And I thought it'd be interesting to see how we have some of those issues have been dealt with over the last 4 years. So we'll kind of go into that as we go along here. Top of the issue here was somebody asked you about recreation, and I know that is near and dear to your heart in Redcliff. So I know that you spent considerable money upgrading the rectangle, which looks beautiful, but what else has happened in Redcliff over the last 4 years?
Well, I guess you touched base there, like for sure the arena, like we put a new concrete slab and new boards. Come next off season, a new ice plant's going to be put in. Those are definitely some major upgrades, and we do have to thank the province for that as well, with a grant helping us out with that. We also did put some money towards our pool. We put a new liner in here this last summer. On both sides, that alone was a big chunk of change, about $400,000. So, and then unexpectedly, we had our boilers go down last year too at the pool. So that was another big upgrade we had to do. That was unexpected. In regards to recreation, we you'll see some minor things coming up. We're hoping this year. We're going to be getting installed a new outdoor recreation area, so an outdoor, like an outdoor gym basically, right? And that'll be right beside the pool as well. And then finally some lighting at our skate park. Okay. So we're hoping to see that before the end of the year.
So there's lots happening in Redcliff.
Yes. Yeah.
I think one of the things that you had campaigned on 4 years ago was an accessible playground.
Yeah.
Has that progressed?
That kind of stalled this, like I said, these last 4 years. And the reason being is once I got on, then I did learn, okay, well, the arena needs some major upgrades. The pool needed some upgrades. And then also a lot of our infrastructure, we needed a new fire truck. A lot of our services needed to be repaired or updated, and that's going to continue. When it comes to the accessible play place, it was actually a few people during my campaign 4 years ago that brought it to my attention. They're like, hey, like there's nowhere here in Redcliff that you can really, where their kid can go in a wheelchair and go play with other kids or anything like that. They have to go into Medicine Hat. So to have something like that in Redcliff, I think then it's including everybody, right? So hopefully that's something that I can put on the table for this coming term if I get reelected. I think it's definitely something important that I would personally like to see added to our community. You know, something that maybe has like a rubber floor and different play structures for anybody that has accessibility issues. That's per se. So
there are wish lists, and everybody has one. And I think one of the wish lists in Redcliff is an indoor pool facility.
Yeah, we've heard about that so far this campaign as well. That's a tough one because one thing I've learned in these 4 years, how much it costs to run even just our facility for 2 months. We definitely don't generate it's not a money generating facility. That's for sure. We end up losing money every year. So to put a roof over top, I think it's a great idea. I would love to see it, but the cost involved with it would be, we're definitely looking at 7 figures to do that, to put the roof over and insulate it and do whatever needs to be done to do that. Could it possibly be done with some grant funding? Maybe. Grant funding, I'm finding, is tough to come by too. So with any big project like that, then of course taxes will have to go up. Our mill rate goes up. And
tempers go up.
And people don't like tax increases, and even I don't. I pay taxes just like everyone else, and I'm not a big fan of seeing like big increases, and so to do something like that would definitely, we would need some help from either like sponsorship or from through grants and stuff like that. So, but it's not something I would throw off the table, but it would be a hard task to do.
Generally speaking, what is the situation for the town of Redcliff financially?
I'd say going into this last term, I did learn a lot in regards to financially what our town is, how we are doing, and I have to tip my hat to the previous councils because, sitting next to our outgoing mayor who's running for council, Dwight Kilpatrick, who has, over 30 years experience, like him saying in the past, the town being in the red for a long time and being in a pretty bad spot financially, but they dug deep and started putting money away, and now we're sitting pretty good with money sitting in reserves to help fund future projects and stuff like that. So with that, putting money away and being very conservative with our money where we spend it has definitely helped things in the future, like let's say any unexpected costs, like
the boiler.
Like the boiler, exactly. And then for future projects, for like let's say infrastructure, for putting in new roads and new servicing underneath, because to do one block, but that's another thing I learned, just to repave a block and put in new servicing is about it's a little over $1 million per block. So it's definitely not cheap. So to try and put money away to do those future projects, I tip my hat to the previous councils to put us in the position that we're in now. So
other services in Redcliff include policing, and I know that's near and dear to your heart because that's what brought your family to Redcliff.
Yes, my dad is a proud retired member of the RCMP. He retired in 2001 as the acting detachment commander in Redcliff. So the RCMP definitely, for me, is, I love the RCMP. I have a lot of respect for them, for what they do in our community. It has been a bit of a challenge I've seen in the last 4 years when it comes to staffing and stuff like that. It's trying to maintain to watch them try and maintain a full full number of staff is definitely it is tough, and it is frustrating, I know, for some residents and for myself to see to see what would appear a lack of policing in Redcliff. But when we are fully staffed, it definitely you can see the difference. So and I got to know our current detachment commander, Michael Cordy, Staff Sergeant Cordy, and a lot of respect for him for what he does. And I think I'm proud to have the RCMP in Redcliff.
It is a difficult ask for the RCMP because not only the town of Redcliff is their responsibility, they have to go from the U.S. border to Sandy Point Bridge, from the Saskatchewan border over, I think, halfway between Seven Persons and Bow Island. Yeah. That's a big chunk of real estate.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and they can't always just be in the town of Redcliff. So.
Yeah, and that's where it's it's kind of one thing I've learned again these last 4 years is, we as the town pay for a certain amount of officers. Cypress County pays their share, and then also the province supplies a certain amount of officers as well. So if our officers have to go out to, let's say, Dunmore or, okay, those are our officers going there that we're paying for. But again, it's reciprocated when the provincial officers or the county mountie has to come and will respond to a call, let's say in Redcliff. So it kind of balances itself out. So
sounds like you do in Redcliff need to cooperate with the other two administrations, the city of Medicine Hat and the county of Cypress County as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So that requires a little coordination from the council. Leadership, is that something that you pride yourself on?
Like with being on council, you mean? Or?
Being on council and making sure that everybody is focused on the problems at hand and they don't go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I'd say so. Like it just being on council itself this last term in regards to like leadership, that's, I'd say, definitely Dwight Kilpatrick, our mayor. He definitely showed and taught, myself and James Allen, who was also a new councillor this year, definitely kind of steered us in the right direction. And not just Dwight, everyone else that was on council this past term that have been there prior. And so I guess you can say probably like the last 2 years, once I started to feel a little bit more confident, let's say, I don't want to say comfortable, but more confident, then and starting to learn the ropes, then yeah, like, excuse me, going and seeing like our and speaking with our CAO and stuff like that, because and talking with her and I guess I can't really say give direction, but just in regards to any questions that she may have, or it's trying to be there to help answer those questions, because that's one thing is a lot of people don't know is, and the same thing goes for Medicine Hat, same thing goes for Cypress County. Councils only have one employee, and that's a CAO. Mm-hmm. And it's not like I am where a resident can come to me and say, I'm having a bylaw issue. I can't go to our bylaw officer and say, hey, like this resident has this issue. I have to go to the CAO, and then in turn she directs who she needs to go to. So I guess that's more of I guess you can say leadership kind of thing, but it's not like I would never go tell her what to do or anything like that. It's
governance.
It's exactly, and because you can't, and again, you can't try and persuade his or her decision making and stuff like that. So, and again, that all comes with time and learning, and and I feel I just started scratching the surface in 4 years. So.
You mentioned learning. I'm wondering if you had some preconceived notions that got popped once you got onto the town council.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, and
it's easy from the outside.
It is, and and I don't want to speak bad of anyone else, but like going into like my first term, I would love to do this. I'd love to do this. But going into this term, I learned that I'm only one vote. I'm one vote out of 7. I'm not going to make promises I know I can't keep. Mm-hmm. And yeah, hearing some different candidates, not, and I'm not saying Redcliff or anything, but that's how do I put it?
Politicians exactly. Will say anything to get elected.
Exactly, and all I can do is advocate. I can support. Like if I will, something like definitely support lower taxes. That's something I always support, because I would love to see lower taxes. To recreation, that's something I will support. I cannot make promises that. So yeah, when you say like a bubble popped, it's like, whoa.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I'm only
I
one
thought you
vote.
could do this. Yeah.
So
Yeah. A good friend of mine, David Carter, former MLA, Speaker of the House of Alberta Legislature, advised me that he said, you don't have to be a politician. He said, you just have to listen.
Yeah.
Probably one of the biggest skills that you need if you're running for public office.
Yeah.
Complaints. I'm sure you get lots of them in Redcliff, and I think one of them may be traffic. It's hard to believe that in Redcliff there would be a traffic issue, but there is an intersection, I think, of Mitchell and Broadway that has been a bit of a burr under some people's saddle.
Yeah, and I hear it every once in a while, and it was part of my campaign 4 years ago. But again, it's my perspective of Broadway and Mitchell has changed. It definitely is probably our busiest intersection in Redcliff.
And that's because it feeds out of your new residential area, I believe.
In a sense, yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's only access to it, unless you go all the way around through the city, through the west side. But eventually, if we look at our master development plan, in the years coming up, if we can be lucky and get some development over on the east side, like 9th Avenue on east side, like that road will eventually go all the way out to Samus Drive.
The old highway.
The old highway. So that in turn will alleviate traffic at Broadway and Mitchell. Sissons Drive, which is the gravel road behind the police station, eventually we would like to see that paved. But again, we don't want to throw a slab of pavement over top, then all of a sudden, boom, we get all this development in that area.
Which means you have to tear
it all up and put servicing in.
Yeah.
So that's where it's tough, because people would like to see it, but we don't want to waste some money doing it, and then because then it is a waste of money to dig it all up and put servicing in again. So in regards to that intersection, I think if we were to do something today, and it would cost quite a bit of money to put a set of traffic lights. I don't think a 4-way stop it really is the answer, because during Redcliff rush hour, in the morning and in the evening, I think that it would bottleneck either going west or east, like west in the morning, east in the evening. That start stop at a 4-way stop. Honestly, like if I need to cross going straight on that road, if it's busy, I might wait for a minute or minute and a half, but eventually I get across, and I would just not like to waste money right now on that. If we know down the road we're going to alleviate that traffic.
Yeah. Down the road, how do you grow the town of Redcliff?
Well, that's something we as a council I know have talked about in the last 4 years, and fairly recently, like we've offered like tax incentives for new builds, let's say, and even just this year, we have seen some progress with that, with some new builds. Like if my memory stands corrected, we've seen over 10, like double digits for new builds. If my memory stands correct, all I know is that people have started to utilize this tax incentive to build new in Redcliff. So I think that's a great start. Trying to attract more business is it's definitely it is a challenge. It really is, because you look at the cost of what it's going to cost to build a new facility for any. It's a lot of money. Yeah. Buying property, buying all the supplies to build it, and then so like with that is do we look at maybe a deal when it comes to offsite levies, let's say. So anything to attract new business, I think we all are on the same page anyways, because we all would love to see the town grow some more. So,
Do you have elbow room to grow?
oh, I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The Lockwood Industrial Park still has available spots for an industry to come in?
Remind me where Lockwood.
I believe-
I've never heard the
Lockwood, I believe, is it would be north of Broadway and east of the Trans-Canada Highway.
north of Broadway East.
Yeah. There are a lot of oil field companies.
Oh,
that are
yeah.
out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't remember any of the names of the roads, but I used to see them every day when we were at Chat Television.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's still, if my memory sounds correct, there's still some room right out around up on the like the northwest side there, kind of where Iron Horse is now along that road there.
Yeah.
And then we do potentially have all that land that's north of that and kind of northwest, like right up to where like the Messhat Speedway is, and just west of that too. There's some stuff that may be in the works that I can't really talk about right now, but
Confidentiality is
yeah,
one of the keys.
hopefully we have our fingers crossed. It could be exciting times for Redcliff too. So when it
Get
comes
the fish in the boat.
so, but it's dotting the T's and dotting the T's and crossing the I's. So
Yep.
So
Residentially, you mentioned I think it's the east. You call it the East Side Development. Is that the name of that? Is there still room for housing in that area?
Oh, lots of room. So one thing myself and the others on council, I pretty confident to say most of us, if not all of us, have advocated and help is a new school to go on the east side. So that is still in the works. So that with the new school, we're hoping is going to spur some more development in the east side, and the plan is to hopefully do some more development to accommodate those that school development as well, right? So again, it's everything takes time. So it's hopefully it's something that I can. And that was another big reason why I wanted to run again, is because I want to see that project come to fruition. It's a new school, and then hopefully servicing more sites to spur that development for new housing.
Garbage collection in Redcliff has always been one of those that people have opinions upon. How has that been going over the last couple of years?
It's been pretty quiet, I'd say, on that front. Anyways,
people have gotten used to the system.
They do like the big bins. Majority, I'd say, a large majority like the big bins. I know I like the big bins. We are learning though the cost of these big bins and the costs associated with them, and they're not getting cheaper. And I try and encourage everybody. Like, everybody I know is, when you put your garbage in there, close the lid, because those bottoms are rotten. Again, I didn't know this until I started. These bottoms are rotting out because of the rain and stuff like that, and so the town will try and fix the bottoms the best they can, but these bins aren't cheap anymore, and they're, to my knowledge, I believe they're getting harder and harder to come by too. So, I hate to say it, but maybe eventually we're going to have to maybe look at doing a change. It's a change that I don't want to see, but again, because I do like the convenience factor of the big bins, and I would say a majority of Redcliff does still as well. So,
what about recycling? That would take some of the load off of those bins.
Yeah, I agree. There is a provincial program, and I'm trying to remember the name of it now, where they're going to be rolling out the small recycling bins, and I believe that's like a provincial thing that's going to be happening. When that happens, again, not too sure yet. So hopefully that would alleviate some of the waste going into our bins, and then maybe coming into our compost facility, let's say. And we can only hope that they're utilized correctly, right? So, and there's been, some other ideas tossed around in regards to recycling to help alleviate what's going into our landfill, but nothing really is, besides the provincial program that's coming in, nothing has really come to fruition yet. So.
I'm trying to remember here, but I believe a couple of years ago there was a plan for some upgrades for some of the facilities in Redcliff, and the rectangle was one of them. But I think there was also some thought of doing something for the museum. Is anything happened there?
Well, actually, we did do a few years ago it was a six-figure kind of, I guess you can say, a renovation. So if you actually drive by, the front of it is no longer that yellow.
Mustard colored.
Yeah, it was a mustard. So they knocked all that down, and it's almost like a brick again, and did a facelift there, and they did some more I guess cosmetic, you can say, like up on the roof and stuff like that. Stuff that the public can't really see, but It was an upgrade that needed to be done because like the build, there was a big crack in between the two, because it's actually two buildings. So
the old town hall, I believe.
Town hall, the old police station, yeah, and so we made sure that was all put together, put back together. Just up until a couple of years ago, I started sitting on the board of directors for the museum as well, and so. Yeah, there are still some upgrades we would like to see. Again, it's going to have to come in time, and then when the funds do become, let's say, available, right? So, but it is a great little building, and I think it is an important piece to Redcliff as well as a museum, and I encourage everybody who doesn't even live there, and who does live there, to just go check it out. Go check out the old jail cell that used to be the original jail cell in there. So, yeah.
My grandpa was, never mind. That's part of history you don't want to know, Dave. Yeah. When we look at the history and crime and whatnot and crime prevention, one of the things that always comes up about Redcliff is your street lighting. Is there a program to replace some of the older lights to give a little more light on the streets?
Well, that seems to be like a weird subject, I've learned, because the street lighting is associated with the city of Medicine Hat as well.
Okay.
So I think eventually it's going to be going to all to LED, because the like fluorescent bulbs that are in there, they're obsolete now. And so and I've already seen it in a few lights around town that they've actually changed the head on it and made it to an LED light. So I guess that's kind of where it's going right now. That's probably the only real upgrade so far that is happening. There are some streets in Redcliff that don't even have lighting. So I have thought, so friends of mine, they kindly let me put up a campaign sign on their lawn, and every few days I take a drive around, and I drive down their street, and there's like one street light for 2 blocks, and that's where it's tough, because they have the power lines going down there, but you're actually not allowed to put street lights attached to power lines anymore. Okay. So you actually have to put all new standing structures up. So again, looking at a cost at that, but maybe there's a grant for that somewhere. And, that's something, maybe we can look at it as a new council, if reelected, that we can upgrade, especially in the northwest side of Redcliff that doesn't have that lighting, or even down, like if you look down Mitchell Street, all the lighting down Mitchell Street is all attached to the power lines, right? So...
Lots that we did not know about the town of Redcliff. Is there anything else heading into this vote on the 20th that you wanted to bring up?
Just, I guess, advocating for some of the projects that citizens have brought forth to me, like at a meet and greet that I had, or that I was involved in last week there. a pedestrian lighted crosswalk at 6th Street and Broadway, because it's a very, very busy intersection, and sometimes you just don't see the pedestrians standing there waiting to cross. So myself and a few other candidates have been asked that question, and I think there's pretty good support for that. Also, some people that are like, they're fur babies, right? They would like to see some upgrades to our current dog park, or maybe even an upgrade to a new one. So that was actually part of our discussion yesterday at our last council meeting, is the dog park, and as well as the Broadway crosswalk there. So I shouldn't say little things, but
they're big things to the
big
people in
things
Redcliff,
yeah. I got 2 dogs myself, and I like to utilize the dog park when I can. But I'm the first one to say too that it definitely is in need of some upgrades because you can't use it after it rains because it's all muddy and stuff. So it's things like that. So and maybe supplying some water and some shade and stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's been said the mills of the gods grind slowly. Yeah. So you've had 4 years on council, and you would like to have another 4 to complete some of the things that we've talked about.
Yeah, and definitely just be a voice for and support these ideas, right? So as to the best of my ability. Like I said, I won't make promises I can't keep, but I will support them. So
Matthew St. Pierre, candidate for Redcliff Town Council, October 20th. Thanks for the visit.
Thanks for having me.